Hello, welcome back to PSGL F5. We return once again. Yes, I was not here last week, but I am back once again, and we are here for round 8 of season 33. We are coming to the circuit of Mexico today. I am here on my own once again, but that is okay because it doesn't matter what, even if I'm here on my own or with somebody else, you always get brilliant action at this time of the season. We're coming towards the end of the season. Remember, only 11 races. We're in round 8. The fact that there's only 4 races left to the season isn't much. I hope everybody is having a good day today, as things spiced up in the last race with... I'm going to bring up the standings, actually. The standings show here Wildy has the championship lead. He currently is on 54 points. He took that win last time in China. Sixten Lindhart is second. He's been one of the favourites all season, along with Wildy. Of course, remember, Wildy won the first race, but Sixten Lindhart has only won one race compared to Wildy, with 3 times he has won this season. But yeah, Sixten Lindhart, second place, 48 points. And then Ivan Santamir, the underdog, I would say, this season, hasn't achieved a victory all season long. Sorry, no, he did win in France. Hang on, wait, I'm just trying to see. Yes, he hasn't won all season. So ultimately, that is third place. He's got 46 points for Ivan Santamir. Matty has 42, so a good comeback from Matty. Of course, achieving the win in Baku. Snakes, currently he hasn't scored points in the last 2 races, so it's been unlucky for Snakes. He was in the championship fight all the way back in Baku, but now he is starting to really run away. This championship is running away from him, and it isn't helping. Emmy is then 6th, and Luke Mills, sort of the last. I would say probably Emmy is the last of the drivers that can really come back in these last 4 races to fight for the championship, as you can see on your screen. That is all of the standings there. But if we now switch over, we're going to look at the track. Of course, it's the track of Mexico City today, 4.3 kilometers, well known for that long pit straight. It has a total of 3 DRS zones. We've seen many overtakes. It's a total of 17 corners. If we all remember that 2021 start going into turn 1, Max Verstappen has won this race so many times, as we all know. He's won it so much and so many times, and it just keeps on proving to be such a great track, whether it's real life racing here on F122. It never disappoints, and I can't believe I'm saying it, but it is one of the best tracks in my opinion. I love the track. I think many drivers do love the track. Of course, we've got to talk about some of those difficult corners, especially through the S section of Sector 2. Very difficult for track limits, same as turn 2 and 3, where drivers try to take as much curb as they can and trying to skip over the massive sausage curbs. And that is where track limits are really difficult off of exits, and also especially through that S section, like I said. Sector 3 is by far, in my opinion, the most difficult sector. Of course, you come into a quick right-hander where you've got to get on the brakes, but you've got to be careful not to lock up. You then head into a hairpin where locking up is so difficult not to do. So you're always trying to balance the car correctly. You've then got a little kink to the right. Then you're just heading straight, and then you have the last 2 corners where it's a tight right-hander like the first corner of Sector 3, and then you head off into turn 17, a long right-hander where you can spin. And so it's quite interesting. But like I was saying, this championship is spicing up so much this season. You know, the fact that Wildy wasn't looking in for the championship, DNF in France, he didn't start in Austria, and yeah, that might have been round 4, but that can rule some drivers out early. But in 3 races, he's won twice. He also scored 5 points all the way in Baku. So he's ultimately come out so far with some pretty hefty points, to be honest. He's come out with 37 points in the last 3 races, which is very, very good. He could only score 11 more points than that, if we remember. So, there wasn't a massive amount of points on the board more, but he does lead the championship, and currently that is all he wants, and that's all he needs. He has a 6-point lead in the championship. So I'm going to have a quick look if we are getting going soon. I believe, yes, we are. So we're going to now switch screens to our main screen here. Yeah, so here we are, finally. Ready. The drivers are getting ready now for the qualifying session. It's, if you don't know how the format for PSGL goes, it is a short qualifying session followed by a 50% race here on F1 22. But just before we get into qualifying, please, if you are shopping at GT Omega, you can get 5% off by putting in the special discount code of PSGL. Make sure you put that in whenever you are buying GT Omega products. But we're here now. I've driven this track quite a lot. It's one of my favorites, like I said. I think it's proving to be a tough one. It is a tough track necessarily to get the highest amount of lap time out of, and I think everybody can agree with that. It's one of the toughest when it comes down to lap time, trying to get every little bit out of the car. You can see we're getting going very shortly. Ivan Tansbury, we're just waiting for him. We've got quite good attendance for this race. A couple of drivers, of course, have moved here since the start of the season, so they might not be here. So as you can see, we've got quite a few drivers in this sort of championship. NLR Matteo makes his return after missing, I believe it's been 3 races that he has missed this season, but he does make his return. He's only on 19 points, so he really needs a championship comeback. But in my opinion, I think the championship is just out of bounds for him. He lost it early on, but sadly it was due to him not being able to make it. So you can't really blame him for that he wasn't able to make it. So he could have been in for that championship, but it's fine. Timo Kuiper's one of the drivers that I think has performed incredibly well this season. Just been a bit unlucky at times, and I think there is an Alfa Romeo out on track. It is, yes. It's Luke Mills. Luke Mills has been an interesting driver, in my opinion, this season. He's had varied form this season. I would say he's had times when I could say he's one of the better of the midfield drivers. He's definitely been one of them, as we see some shading issues with the game. But yeah, so he's definitely been one of the drivers that I enjoy watching. I really do enjoy watching him quite a lot. When we see him race, he's very good with braking zones. He's proved himself across the season, and I think if anybody says that he's not good enough, honestly, I think you're wrong, because he is a great driver. He's proven it over and over. He can score points. He can fight for position. He has some good qualifying pace, but he also has some brilliant race pace as well. So there's a lot to show for this. For Luke Mills in the Alfa Romeo, but we're going to go on board with him for his lap, as he'll be the first driver to start off our qualifying here in round 8. Of course, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please think about subscribing to PSGL, follow us on Twitter, and also join our Discord in the description down below. So here we go on the lap, going down on the longest pit straight in Formula 1, and I believe it's one of the longest also in just any racing track in the world. Into turn 1, very good. Into turn 2, he takes the curb very nicely. Turn 3, a little bit wide. Maybe pushed him off a bit on that first lap. Lost a bit of time, but he's going to come up to the end of sector 1 again. Another short straight as we now hit into turn 4. Hard braking into turn 4. He locks up a bit. That does affect him. Turn 5. We're coming up to the double right hand of turn 6 and 7. Very nice 2 corners, I have to say. Now we're coming up to what I think is the most difficult section for track limits. Here is turn 8, 9, here is 10, I believe, and then we're into turn 11 and 12, the fast right and left, and he makes that very nice through there, and very good. Now coming down into, I believe this is turn 13 now. Turn 13, he's going to go into the hairpin of 14, like we were speaking just before the qualifying did start. Now we're going to come into turn 16 and 17 to finish off the lap. Round the last corner, he gets the traction down. It's very nice. It's what he needs. Up to the line, it's a 1 minute 15.9. Very good lap there from Luke Mills. We're going to look behind, actually, to, I believe it is Snakes, who's the next one. He really needs a bit of a comeback in his championship, and he goes fastest by 0.3. So he is showing that he wants to get back into this. This is what Snakes needs. He's proven that he's got really good qualifying pace, but it just depends. Can he make into race pace? Because he hasn't always done that this season, and that has almost affected him all year long. We're going to look at Mika, one of the drivers who honestly can climb through the field. As we see Sixten Lintar goes fastest in this session by 2.5 tenths. Very good lap there from our championship contender. Timo Kuipers goes third. Mika into the pits. We're looking to NLR Matty up to the line. He goes second place. Still 2 tenths off of provisional pole. And Dommy JD goes into third. But we see Wildy out of nowhere sets an absolutely brilliant lap. I have to say, for banker laps, these are some really good laps. 1 minute 15.1 is your provisional pole time after these first runs, with NLR Rookie going third. Very good from the Williams driver. He struggled a bit in qualifying this season, but he definitely is having a comeback today. Looking around, we're going to look to, I believe it's Matteo. Yes, it's this man. He's been unlucky. Hasn't been able to make 3 races. Only 19 points this season as he invalidates on his lap. We look to Leonard Jask. Of course, we remember back to Singapore. We're gonna watch Kine. He is on the hards at the moment, so bit of an interesting one there. As we see FRT Floor goes 6th place. We see Serdar goes 14th. And Ivan Santamir only goes 15th place. Right there. So a bit of a strange one. For some of them, Leonard Jask. We're gonna look at Leonard Jask because he's had a bit of a up and down season. He's a consistent driver. He's had his incidents, of course, this season, which of course has cost him. Especially if we remember back to Singapore, where he had the incident with, I believe it was Matteo there, or it could have been. I think it was Sixten Linthart. Sorry, I'm not 100% sure who. I can't remember exactly, but he had that incident with the race leader. He was defending too hard on old worn tyres. It was seen as just a racing incident, but still, Leonard Jask, neither drivers were happy about the collision. Leonard Jask, though, he's had a bit of a fall in form, to be honest. It's been a bit of a fall from grace, from a great start to the season to struggling slightly in that Red Bull. They haven't been the most competitive this season. They have struggled slightly with getting back on point, especially for Leonard Jask, as he does invalidate on his lap. If we look to where Leonard Jask is, he's 13th in the standings with only 16 points this season. By the way, 16 points is equal to 1 win. If we remind you, as we see Ivan Sanz-Maria just crawling along. Obviously, he's not happy with how his car is. We can see Emmy backing up. We're going to watch Emmy on their lap. Oh, no, he's going in. We see Luke Mills out on a lap at the moment. Lots of drivers in the pits. I think Mika is the next one to be crossing the line. Yes, he is. He is going to go into turn 1. We're going to ride on board a little bit with him throughout his lap for a while. Like I was saying, Mika, he's been great for the lap 1 starts. He really has. But he's struggled when it comes to overall lap pace and strategy. So I think that's going to be something that he might want to improve on for next season. But we see a yellow flag. I think that could have been Kine. Yes, it was, I believe. But we can see Mika, so far, very good on his lap, very consistent, going safe, just wanting to get the lap in, and that is an important thing if we all remember. Just getting the lap in is more important. Oh, and it's a big crash! Oh, big crash. Big crash. Whoa, that was big. Okay, as we see, FGE Daniel has actually retired from the session, so FGE Daniel, already a bit of controversy into this first qualifying session, with Mika going off into the wall, proving that this track isn't the easiest at all times. We see Luke Mills going for another lap here. He is, I'm not sure if he's improving or not. He is improving 2 tenths up. He had a decent first lap, but he's got 8 tenths to find, about 7.5 tenths, to find, to be able to get on provisional pole. Improving by about 2 tenths at the moment, so this is what he needs, 2 tenths. This will put him up the field to 9th at the moment, and across the line he goes 5th place. Massive improvement in the last sector, finding about another 10.5 there, so very important 10.5. But I have to say, a couple of drivers really showing some pace. We see championship contender, our main man in the seat at the moment, Sixten Linthart. I said from round 2 of the season, when I was watching him, he was unlucky with the disconnection. He should have won that race, realistically. He should have won. But he sadly didn't. So if he had won that race, shockingly, he would be leading the championship right now, which would be a very different story for Sixten Linthart. But at the moment, he isn't winning it. Only 1 win all season long. It's been a bit of a struggle in some races for him. Especially races like Austria, he definitely did struggle quite a bit. But especially he was a bit unlucky. But I have to say, Sixten Lindhardt definitely has something good there. We're going to move to NLR Rookie at the moment, who is on a lap. Gotta say, that P3 lap time, 1 minute 15.5, just shows the gap between first and second, 3.5 tenths. That is pretty big, to be honest. So, Sector 1, he improved by a tenth. That is what he'll be wanting. That's fastest first sector. That is a very good lap time for first sector. Let's see. We're going to ride on board with him through this middle sector. And for the rest of this lap, actually, because I want to see how he does through the S's. He's really pushing it. He's really pushing the car. He's almost flat through the S's. He's taking an absolutely brilliant line through there. That's one of the best lines I've seen in this qualifying session. I would say probably the best line. Only a tenth up still, so this won't get him up at any positions. As we see Victor Vidler third and Snakes jumps up into fourth, so the lap time is definitely coming through. But NLR Rookie sadly has a bit of a problem on his lap and has to abandon it as he gets invalidated. But Ivan is on a very slow lap. We see Ivan Santamaria at the moment. He's finding some lap time. No, he's not. He's backed off. Very interesting there from him. Leonard Jask also. Who is actually putting together a lap who isn't struggling? I think that's Matteo. Yes, it's Matteo at the moment. He struggled for lap time. He struggled to keep the car in. He goes P4. Very good. Behind his teammate, Victor Villa. But remember, this is his first fast lap as Sixten Lindhardt finds just about another tenth and a half on finds about 100th on Wildy and goes into provisional pole. We see NLR Matty goes P3. Let's see what Wildy can do. He is on a slow lap. We're going to run with Wildy for this lap because I want to see what Wildy can do. This is the battle. Remember, they could get in one more run. We see Domi JD goes P3 now, so the gap is becoming smaller between second and third, but it is still about 2/10 difference. But Wildy and Sixten Lindhardt, they've both been on another level compared to other drivers. They've won most of the races this season. Wildy has won 3. Sixten Lindhardt has won 1 race this season, 4 between both of them, which is pretty crazy, I have to say. The fact that 2 drivers have won, especially in PSGL, such a close and tough league. Even in F5, most people wouldn't think it, but you can't exactly be dominant like Wildy and Sixten Lindhardt have. They've both been at that top of the championship. They've both been fighting incredibly well. We're going to see Wildy come round this S section. He's going to come round. He's very good. He's on edge. He's going for it. Let's see, what can he get? He's 2 tenths up. We could be looking at a 1 minute 14 for the lap time at the moment. He's got a couple of cars in the way. We're going to ride on board for the last part of this lap. He's going all the way up to the track limits. He wants to use the whole track. Now, coming up to the line, he's using everything he's got. It's a 1 minute 14.9. What a lap. He goes around 2 tenths faster than Sixten Lindhardt. That's a lot of time for Sixten Lindhardt to find, to be honest. That is more than a lot of time. He really needs to find something now. Oh, that was a big lap there. But we're going to see Luke Mills. He improved on his lap to a 1 minute 15.5. Luke Mills on edge. He invalidates on his lap. Mika down on his lap at the moment. And everybody else is in the pits. But what a first run. What a second run from Wildy. I mean, to go 2 tenths faster than his last lap is absolutely brilliant in this qualifying session. I've got to give it to him. What a lap there. 1 minute 14.957. Nobody, as you can see, has dipped into the 1 minute 14s in this qualifying session. And I can tell you from also the chat in the Discord server, it doesn't seem like many people dipped into the 14s in online practice either. So it seems like this is a very, very brilliant lap. Being able to perform like this on a, with pressure, with all the pressure you have, championship fight, you're the championship leader, is something very good to be able to perform at a track like this where track limits is probably one of the hardest out of anywhere. But the only driver on track now is the Red Bull of Leonard Jask, still unable to get in a lap so far in qualifying. This will be his last run he has here in this session. I believe it is Yes, it's Serdar as well coming out. But yeah, only Leonard Jask and Kine have been the only two drivers in this qualifying session to have not set a lap. Kine has ran on the hards for most of the session. Leonard Jask just struggling for track limits, like some other drivers are. For instance, Mika is struggling for track limits, but one of the biggest strugglers for track limits at the moment is none other than Luke Mills, who is really struggling. He's getting the lap together, he's getting that first and second sector, but he just seems to just run off a bit in the S section or in the third sector. But here comes Leonard Jask. He's going to start off his lap. We're going to run with him for this lap. Let's see what he can do. He wants to lift himself off of the bottom of the grid. He wants to get higher than 18th. I bet in qualifying, I think we would all want to get higher than 18th. Now, coming into turn 1, very good on the brakes. That car looks a bit jittery and a little bit all over the place, but he's holding it together. That Red Bull looks aggressive. It looks fierce. He will have some traffic towards the end of this, probably towards the end of the second or third sector, so this might be a bit of an issue for him with slow traffic in the way. But yeah, coming round the double right-hander, one of the most strange corners on this game, I have to say. It is one of the strangest. But so far, very good from Leonard Jask. He's really finding some lap time. He is pushing out there. He's really got the car down, and he is really getting it around the corners. Going safe out of that last S corner. We're going to ride on board. He hasn't, of course, set a lap, so there's nothing to look at the moment. But he is looking pretty. He's looking pretty all right on his lap. For the fact that this is the first full lap he's been able to do, not too bad at the moment. Now coming round to the last corner, turn 17. People can spin on this corner. He goes only 13th, not where he wants to be, and that, I believe, will be sadly his only run in this session. We see, I believe, who is next? It's Emmy. Yes, Emmy is the next driver. He's on an out lap, so I'm not actually sure who is on a lap at the moment. I believe it could be Serdar. Yes, it's Serdar at the moment on a lap. 2 tenths up. This will promote him. This will just about promote him up to 12th, which will be a very strong lap, a very good lap for Serdar. That's where he wants to be, 15th at the moment. Coming round the last corner. Oh, he's a bit off. And he has abandoned the lap. He lost all of it in that last corner. He risked it. It didn't pay off there. We see Ivan Santamaria coming round the last corner. He is on a slow lap, looking to Mika now, who is pushing on his lap. No, he's not. I don't know who's pushing and who isn't at the moment. I believe Rookie. Nope. Is there anybody pushing on a lap? Yes, it's Domi J. JD. He improves to 1 minute 15.1. Luke Mills gets up to 5th. He will go up to 4th, then down to 5th, as Victor Vidler goes 4th place. Good lap from Domi JD, though, to get into 3rd. Only 16 thousandths off of the fastest. We see Wildy. We're going to go with Sixten Linthart at the moment. We're going to run with the AvaTauri driver, looking for a championship lead coming out of round 8. Remember, there's only 11 races to this season, so it's shorter than most PSGL seasons. So he really needs to get some wins, and he really needs to start getting some points on Wildy. At the moment, NLR Matty, he's just gone P1 provisional pole. He finds 400ths over Wildy. That is pretty good. We're going to go back to Sixten Linthart. Half a tenth down. Not what he wants to see in the first sector. Let's see what he can do through this section. Very calm. He's going for it, though. He's gone full throttle almost for this entire S section. Big lap, though. I have to say, big lap. And there is the checkered flag. Half a tenth up at the moment. This isn't going to get him anywhere, as we see Rookie goes P3. Very good from the Williams driver. He crosses line. He's the first to cross the line in this session. Let's see. Where will Sixten Linthart go? He's going to come around the last corner a little bit off. What can he do? Up to the line. It's only enough for P3. We're going to look to Wildy, the championship leader. He is improving by a tenth. He needs this last sector to work. He needs everything to go right. We're going to ride on board and up to the line. What can Wildy do? Up to the line. Wildy goes fastest. He has gone fastest. He's dipped into 1 minute 14.8. There's nothing Matty can do. He hasn't got enough in him Is there any other drivers on a lap at the moment? There is Serdar. He's one of the last to be on a lap. Let's see what he can do. Coming round. Oh, he's almost spun. He's into the pit. Ivan said to me, no, nobody is left. And there is your grid. There is your grid for this race. Wildy takes pole position with a 1 minute 14.8. Half a tenth ahead of NLR Matty in second. And Sixten Lintar tops out the top 3. Not where he wants to be, though. Because as it stands, if he gets this, he's only going to score, I believe, it is 10 points. So he's actually going to lose out 6 points to the championship leader, which will be a massive loss. On top of the 4, I believe, on top of the 6 he is already behind. So there is a lot to look at. So we will see in a moment. I believe there is still one. I believe there's still some drivers in the pits waiting. Mika is 11th yet, so I believe everybody should be retiring. I believe it's just Ivan Santamaria who isn't retired just yet. And there we go. That is our session now. You can see Snakes is 6th with the Ferrari. But what a brilliant qualifying session there. Really needed. We see Wildy takes pole position here in Mexico with a 1 minute 14.867. The Italian Matty gets a second. Sixten Linthart third. Rookie fourth. Domi JD fifth. Snake sixth. Victor Vidler seventh. FRT Floor eighth. Luke Mills ninth. Matteo 10th. Mika 11th. Timo Kuipers 12th. Emmy 13th, Leonard Jask 14th, Serdar 15th, for Ivan 16th, FG Daniel 17th, Ivan Santamaria 18th, and Kine in 19th. And now we're going to go, just before the race, we're going to go for a quick ad break and we'll be back. Okay, so we now return for the race. We're here now for this race. We've got 20 seconds until we get going. Race strategy could be anything, to be honest. We could have, honestly, anything for this race strategy. Hard to mediums, medium to hards. We could have softs in there. There's so much you could have right there. And honestly, I do not know what there would be. If I'm being honest. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go for PSGL season 33. Mexican Grand Prix. It's a good getaway from Wildy. He's still side by side with Matty. We're going to look to the side here. Going to quickly get on a couple of things. Now we look to the side. We're going to look behind. Wildy leads into turn 1. How is it going? Oh, there's a driver off. There's a bit of a battle between Sixten Linthart. Couple of drivers going round. Snakes finds himself up into this. Look at this 3 side by side with now, I believe it's, I don't know who, it's Matty side by side with good start from Snakes, up 3 places. Leonard Jask up 5, Serdar up 4, bad start for FRT Floor and Timo Kuipers, both down 10 and 7 between the two of them. Good start though for Wildy, our championship leader, holds on to first place. And he's going to hold on to the championship lead as it stands. Sixten Linthart as well. Good start from him, especially a good start from Snakes to find 3 places off of lap 1. Matty not getting a good start that he would have wanted. Down into P5 here. As we can see, he's being chased down by the driver of Luke Mills. We see a couple of drivers off in the background. It is this battle towards the back of the field. We can see a bit of side-by-side action between Ivan Santamaria and Ivan, and coming round into the last corner, It's very close between these two, and there is a driver pulling into the pits. It is NLR Matteo, and there goes FRT Floor as well, past the driver of Ivan Santamaria. We look to the front once again to the closest battle on track. That is between Luke Mills and NLR Rookie, both fighting for P6. Very good start for some drivers, bad start for others, especially bad start for FRT Floor, Matteo. So some battling there. We see a battle in the midfield between, I believe it was Daniel and Emmy, but Daniel got past, so a good return for the place for Daniel. We now look to Luke Mills once again. There's already a second gap between Dommy, JD and Snake, so it's not looking great there, but we can see the two Haasers will be battling soon enough. Matty knows he has the pace, and there was a driver slowing down in the middle sector. It was Victor Vidler. We're going to see some more battling here between Serdar and FG Daniel into the right-hander. Remember, FG Daniel is on the softs at the moment, so there is something there between the two, that at least Daniel is on the softs, and so that's getting him a good start. Most drivers are on the hards at the moment. Only FG Daniel and Leonard Jask on mediums, and the drivers who pitted, Matteo and Timo Kuipers, on mediums as well. And Emmy is going into the pits on top of that, but a good start from the top three. Very clean for most of the drivers. Very nice to see Leonard Jask already over a second behind NLR Rookie. So there is already a couple of gaps opening up this top three. And now Snakes is just over a second behind Sixten Lindhart. So a second gap is opening up everywhere at the moment. But here is the race leader, Wildy, in that Aston Martin, driving wildly but incredibly well. He's building almost a second gap between him and his title rival Sixten Lindhart. Like I've said, penalties are going to be here for track limits, and it's going to be very vital for the driver of Wildy not to make any mistakes when it comes to track limits. He's already burnt so much of his battery off at the start. All of the drivers have. Not sure why they've burnt so much battery, but there is a driver off. That is Leonard Jask. He's off. Down to 14th now, not where he wants to be. FG Daniel, 3-second penalty, multiple warnings, like I said, already starting to come in. But Wildy has just about built a good second barrier. But there is DRS for Sixten Lindhart. All of the drivers now, both of these front two out of ERS. Snakes almost out of ERS. Look at the midfield. They've got so much more ERS than the front two. These two have been pushing so much over the race lead. This might actually hurt them later on in today's race. So now, coming down towards turn 4 once again. We're going to see, we're here on lap 4. What a good start from some drivers. Matteo overtakes Emmy. So does Timo Kuipers as Emmy is in the pits once again. Maybe he's swapping to a different tyre again, as he's made his second stop to the race. This is his second stop, which is pretty crazy. Of course, remember the rules are you have to make one pit stop across the race, and you have to change to one other dry set of tyres, one other type of tyres. So for instance, that could be softs. If you start on the hards, like many drivers have here, you've got to go to the mediums or the softs to then complete the race. But as we can see here, the gap between these top two, very close. We see our race leader here, Wildy. We're going to ride on board with Sixten Lindhart here in the AlphaTauri. He is fighting for this championship, but at the moment he's not close enough. He needs something. He's staying within DRS because he has. He's just about able to stay in DRS because of the ERS situation between these two. They're both on 0%, but remember Sixten Lindhart does have DRS. We're going to see how much it gains on this second straight. We saw on the long pit straight how much it gained. We're going to see here how much it's going to gain again. FG Daniel with another 3-second penalties. Serdar up to 3 seconds of penalties as well. He is currently 11th place. Now, both 10th and 11th both have penalties. This is going to be good for drivers like Hein and Ivan Santamaria. But so far, Ivan Santamaria struggling a bit. Only 13th. I know he started, I believe it was 17th or 16th. But he's quite far behind. Sixten Lindhart struggling to keep the track limits. So that could be an issue for him here. But we see a close battle between Snakes, Dommy JD, and Matty at the moment. We can see Domi right there. He is waiting for Snakes to make a mistake, as he does make a bit of a mistake with understeer. We see Kine has also received a penalty. Serdar is going down the order. Yeah, he's gone down the order to 13th now, so he's obviously made a bit of a mistake there, but we're going to ride on board with Domi on this pit straight. We're going to see the power of the DRS. Here he comes. He's going to come at Snakes, opens the DRS, and there he goes. We can see him going by, and there it is on his front wing. He goes by with almost ease to this. It was quite easy for him to get by, actually, and that is third place for Domi, JD, right there. Now, that is one of the closest battles. A close battle here is for the position of P8, Victor Vidler, Mika, and FG Daniel fighting over these positions here. Here comes Mika into turn 4. He's had a bit of a lock-up. Oh, and there goes FG Daniel trying to make the dive bomb. That did not work at all for the Red Bull driver. Remember, he's got a penalty. These two don't. So it isn't actually helping him that he has these penalties, which is quite bad. He's also on the softs, so those are going to wear out very quickly, remember. The softs might be the fastest, but they are also the fastest at getting worn. Kine with another 3-second penalty. There seems to be... Oh! Sixten Linthart! 3-second penalty for second place in the championship. He is fighting so hard to stay with Wildy. He's got a 3-second penalty. This is going to hurt him later on today. It really is when it comes to race results. 3-second penalty. Whoa, this is really big for the championship. We're on to laps. And Kine is into the pits. Kine is our first retiree of the race. He chooses to retire in the pits, so it is by his own decision. But there you go. That is it. We're still here watching Sixten Linthart try to chase down a championship leader, Wildy, over the championship lead. But remember, Sixten Linthart has just gotten a championship-changing 3-second penalty and a race-changing 3-second penalty here. This could cause any type of havoc going on right now. There is so much going on track. We look further back, we can see this battle over P3 still close between Domi, JD, Snakes, Matty, Luke Mills, Rookie. All of these drivers in for this battle. 5 drivers in for the battle over P3 in this race. So much battling going on everywhere. The gap is even coming down between drivers. We see a battle over P8 between Mika, Bemp, Bemp. We're just going to call him Mika, okay. Honestly, no. And also Victor Vidler in 8th place. A lot is going on at the moment. A lot is going on. We return to this front lead between these two. They're both just battling over DRS. Are they? Who's going to get out of the DRS? Is it going to be Wildy or Sixten Linthart going to drop back enough? But that DRS zone, you can see the time just coming down between these two drivers of how much it is at the moment. But we can also see the time difference between Sixten Linthart and Domi JD also coming down by a tenth or two. Serdar with another 3-second penalty. We see a move between Leonard Jask and Serdar. Leonard Jask makes the move back up into 12th. Big race-changing move. He's now chasing down his teammate, FGE Daniel, for 11th place. But here comes FRT Floor. He makes the move. And there he goes into P12 for FRT Floor. But we look behind. Leonard Jask under pressure from Serdar, the driver he just passed. He is struggling a bit on these mediums now, as you would expect he would. It's getting cloudy as well here at Mexico City, but we see the gap out in front, the closest it's been all race. I can tell you that it's been the closest. And Serdar with another 3-second penalty in this race. Serdar's getting closer and closer to being black flagged. And NLR Rookie gets a 3-second penalty. That's the first of the top 10 getting a penalty. Very big there. Very, very big. And here comes Sixten Linthart, and there's a driver off. It is NLR Rookie. Seems like he slowed down a bit. We're going to look back to Sixten Linthart. We're going to ride on board with Sixten Linthart. He wants this race lead. He's trying to pressure Wildy into a mistake. We can see him chasing down Wildy for this race win. It's been like this for most of the race. Let's see. Mika gets a 3-second penalty. The penalties are starting to add up now between the drivers. We see a battle further back. There is a battle between Verivan It's the Battle of the Alpines, reminding me of 2022 at Saudi Arabia. There's some memories coming back there, but it's between for Ivan and Serdar into this right-hander, tight right-hander. They're still side by side, bit of contact there, bit of pushing and shoving. Is he going to go for it? Yes, he is. He's still there. For Ivan, looking to make the move. He wants to get up to P14. The battle here is still going on, but he lets Serdar keep up the position. We see NR Rookie is off. He's got a broken wing. Oh, there is also, I believe that's FG Daniel is also off. Oh my god, some action going on in this second sector here in PSGL F5. But if you are enjoying this action and you want to see more of it, every Thursday evening at 7 PM, please subscribe, click on the notification bell, leave a like on the stream, and make sure to look out for more content. Also, go and follow PSGL on Twitter. And, oh, Wildy, he's got a 3-second penalty. Wildy also has a 3-second penalty, so they are now racing for position once again. But as I was saying, yes, FG Daniel has also chosen to retire in the pit, so a second driver. Back to what I was saying, yes, also follow us on Twitter to get more information on what is going on in PSGL, and also join our Discord server if you want to race, commentate like I am, or if you just want to keep up a little bit more with the drivers and be able to chat with some of the drivers. Come and join our Discord, it's down in the description down below. And also, if you're buying any GT Omega products, put in the discount code of PSGL to get 5% off any product, I believe it is. Please don't quote me on that. But, yeah, Leonard Jask, 3-second penalty there. Now, we're back to the race leaders fighting over position here. This is currently the closest battle on track when it comes down to timing. Pretty crazy to think about that. This is championship fighting here. We can see Sixten Linthart still waiting in position. He's still waiting. He wants to take this race win here today. He still wants to get it. He still wants to fight for this championship, because at the moment, if he finishes in front, he won't take the championship lead, but it'll be a bit closer. NLR Rookie with another 3-second penalty. But you can see Wildy just has that straight line speed that Sixten Linthart is struggling for slightly. He's hard still, as you can see, only 100 off from his personal best, which is pretty crazy to think about that. But overall, we're starting to see the pace in the grid starting to level out. Domi JD in third place, fighting with Snakes, Matty, Luke Mills all over this. Victor Vidler dropped off. Of course, remember as well, Matteo had his, NLR Rookie had his incident, which put him off as well. But a driver that is really doing well today is Ivan Santamaria at the moment. Up 9 places, most places out of any driver. Matty gets a 3-second penalty, first of the top 7 to get a penalty. Big one there, but as you can see, Ivan Santamaria up 9 places in this race. Very interesting there, very important there on top of it, because Ivan Santamaria is 3rd in the championship. But at the moment, he's only going to score 2 points to this race. And this is going to actually, I believe as it stands, it's going to drop him down to maybe 4th or 5th in the championship. This is really going to hurt Ivan Santamaria. We've known him all season for his consistency and the fact that he's got some really good pace under that Williams. But today, it just really isn't showing, as we see a bit of a battle over P7 between Victor Vidler and Mika. You can see how close Mika is in that Mercedes. That Mercedes looking dangerous out there, looking like it's got some pace. Is he going to close up enough? Is he 4/10? Is he going to send it? No, he isn't. It's not worth it just yet. As you can see, Mika just thinking about the move. He doesn't want to go for it. But as we return to the lead, we see once again Wildy having to try and defend from Sixten Linthart. Sixten Linthart is really close this lap. He is pushing more and more this lap. You can see just 0.3 is the gap between first and second here today. It's been like this for most of the race. It's been so close. No moves have been made just yet. Serdar gets a 3-second penalty, but no moves have been made between these two drivers. But there might be happening here. We're going to look behind Wildy. He's under attack from Sixten Linthart. Here comes that raging AlphaTauri. He wants to take the lead. The number 69. Sixten Linthart, here he comes. Into the braking zone, into turn 1. He's not going to make the move there. He tried to go for the outside. He's going to take the better line out of turn 3. He doesn't get the better exit though, but he is going to go for it once again. You can see Wildy trying to defend for his life here. Is he going to try? Sixter Linthart is playing smart and he doesn't want to make the move just yet. We look further back to this battle once again for P3 as NLR Rookie picks up another 3-second penalty. He's currently sitting down in P15. So it's not going well for some of these guys at the moment. We also missed the move between Mika and Victor Vidler for P7 in this race. But Mika does have a penalty, which means he will still be put back behind Ivan Santamaria, so he will be back down to 9th. But what a crazy race it's turning out to be, because look at this, once again, Sixter Linthart there, he's about 10th off of, he's actually further off of Wildy than he was last lap, but he knows he has the straight line speed as long as he's got DRS, that's all he's waiting for. Here comes Sixter Linthart, going to ride on board with the AlphaTauri. We're just going to see how much he can close up without using any overtake. Look at how much he is closing on this straight. Below 4 tenths, below 3 tenths, he's gaining, he's going to the outside, he wants to take the better line. We've seen him do this a couple of times in this race, a little bit of a lock up there into turn 1, but same for Wildy. And now coming out of turn 3, Sixter Linthart being careful on the throttle. I'm not sure if he's going to try and make the move here. I don't think he is. No, he's not going for it. But is he going to go for it into this tight right-hander? We've seen it happen before. We're going to move further back towards Mika. And again, Victor Vidler gets past Mika. Ivan Santamaria hunting him down for P8 now. So Ivan Santamaria really wants to make some moves right now. He wants to get some moves. NLR Rookie gets another 5-second penalty. And NLR Rookie sadly becomes our 3rd retiree of today. We haven't had a single driver crash out, but we have had 3 drivers choose to retire, which is quite disappointing, to be honest, for today. Ooh, it's been quite a long race so far, but it's been quite good. If you are enjoying some action, NLR Matteo gets a 3-second penalty, but if you are enjoying this action, please tell me in the chat if you are. Who do you think is going to win this race? And what do you think will happen? Do you think there's going to be a safety car? Do you think there's going to be something that could happen? We once again following with Sixter Linthart chasing down Wildy. We've seen this so many times. He's further back this time. Is he saving EOS? It doesn't look like he is. It just looks like he's had a bit of a fall off in pace, but we see this when drivers push. They then try and save a bit more. Here comes Sixter Linthart though. He's using some overtake to close back up to show that he is still there and he's still 100% a threat. And I would not disagree with this man right now. He is absolutely pressuring Wildy, but Wildy is just proving to be as calm and cold as an iceberg. He doesn't seem to be shook by anything from Sixter Linthart, and so there definitely is still chances here for both of these drivers. I have to say though, I've got to give it to Wildy. At the moment, you know, he's led every lap of this race. He got on pole position. As it would stand, if he can get fast lap and win the race, that would be a Grand Slam, which is absolutely brilliant. Here in F5, I don't think we've actually had a driver. I don't think there has actually been a driver all season to get a Grand Slam. So it would be really nice to see here in Mexico as we run on to lap 16. We're getting closer and closer to halfway through the race. Lap 18 is the halfway mark. I'm excited for the halfway mark, if I'm being honest. As we see, Serdar gets another 3-second penalty. The Alpine driver down in 12th at the moment. Well, it's been one crazy race so far, I have to say. I've never had a race like this, but we actually see a bit of battling between Domi, JD, and Snakes. Is he going to make a move? Serdar has chosen to retire. That's 4 drivers now. We had 19 drivers. We're down to 15 in this race. The grid is becoming smaller and smaller, but this happens, remember. But we're riding on board with Snakes. He's up 2 places. Honestly, Snakes is not doing too badly. We see Domi JD really pushing, having a massive rear slide there. But Snakes just, I've got to give it. Oh, Sixter Linthart, another 3-second penalty for the man who is currently fighting for the championship. This gives Wildy a 3-second gap currently. That's big. But returning back to Snakes, this man has absolutely been brilliant this season. He's been consistent. He's been very good. He's been in there. He's had some unlucky moments, but I've got to give it to him. He is really calm today. He's almost like Wildy. He's just waiting for the right moment. He's saved up his ERS, and here he goes. He's going to have DRS once again on Domi JD. He's got some great pace. There was yellow flags in Sector 1 though. But again, look at how much he closes up on the straight. He's closed it down. He was about a third of the gap now between these two, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. But once again, you just see Domi JD, because of dirty air, just seems to get a better exit, and that is what's keeping him ahead at the moment. But, some disappointment for some drivers. One big disappointment was NLR Matty. 5th, down 3 places. He was, if we all remember, he was up in 2nd. He just had a really rough start, and it just seems like he hasn't been able to really come back from it. And I'm not sure if he will be able to. The laps are going by. We're almost at the halfway mark in this race. And there's just... I haven't seen anything from Matty, to be honest, in this race. It's almost like he hasn't been himself. He's just almost been waiting and just sort of sitting there, just waiting for something to go wrong, which is a great strategy. But it's like it's almost like he's struggling for pace a bit and confidence. And that is almost what's losing him out this race as well. And that's a massive issue for some drivers. We see the first of the pit stops at the right time. Luke Mills into the pits here on lap 18, first driver into the pits. And now he goes up to the medium tyres. Very nice to see from Luke Mills. Very good stop from the Alfa Romeo team, I've got to say. It's always lovely to see a stop. But there's still so much action that could happen. That's just promoted Ivan Santamaria up to 8th place here today. Well, it's quite exciting, I have to say. I didn't really expect it to be like this, but like usual, it is always an exciting race. You can never complain about that. It is always exciting when you come to Mexico City. Just to remind everybody, we are here for PSGL Season 33. We are here at Mexico City for Round 8 in F5. Our current championship leader is also our race leader. He took pole. Can he get a 3rd win in 4 races? Here is Wildy. Sixten Linthart, though, his championship rival, might have 6 seconds of penalties compared to 3 for Wildy, but he is also chasing down for this race win. We see Domi, JD, and Snakes into the pits. We're going to watch Snakes. Can he actually cut, Domi JD coming out of the pits? Has he done it? Will he do it? No, there's been a bit more of a gap between these two than there was, but we see on this straight, look at how close Sixten Linthart is. He wants to make this move. He wants to make it now. You can see Wildy is parking the car on the apex so many times in this race. It's been one suspenseful race. We've been waiting for this move. I've been waiting for this move because we haven't seen a lot of movement between these two fighting out front. We had that little bit of action earlier on, but it hasn't been there for a little while. But that is okay, because these drivers are thinking. They're thinking of strategy. They're thinking of what is best for them. Because remember, if Sixten Linthart overtakes Wildy, he's then got to defend from the DRS from Wildy then. And so it's not actually that great for either driver, either way. So, and I think also these two are both trying to save some ERS. And here comes Sixten Linthart. He's using some overtake. He is already gaining on him a little bit. Ivan in the middle sector is round. Yeah, he was round. We're going to look back to these front two. There goes Sixten Linthart round the outside. Can he make the move? Is he going to make the move? Oh, bit of lag, bit of issues. But it's okay. NLR Matty goes into the pits now. Let's see. Coming down on the straight, Luke Mills puts in the fastest lap of the race here. Very good lap there. Luke Mills overtakes NLR Matty, so not the best strategy, but we can see Sixten Linthart still running in behind. He is the closest he has been all race. Emmy gets a 3-second penalty. Disappointment for Emmy, of course, down in 14th at the moment as we ride and we watch this battle over the race win. It's really started to spice up. It's really started to change up in this race. Sixten Linthart pushing. Are these two going to pit? Who is going to pit? who is going to try the undercut or who's going to try the overcut as well. They're both trying to go as long as they can. FRT Floor gets a 3-second penalty. Could we see Wildy go into the pits? The Aston Martin driver, is he going to go for it? Is he going to do it? Yes, he is. He is going into the pits. Sexton Linthart is going to try to overcut him. We're going to watch Wildy on his way in the pits. We're going to see what he can do for his pit stop. Can he get a good pit stop? Is it alright? It's a pretty decent pit stop, I have to say. Pretty good there. We're going to see a couple of drivers go by. Ivan Sands way up to third. We're going to see, is FRT Floor going to go by? Yes, he is. But it's a good gap for Wildy. He's found still a pretty good gap between him and Domi JD, but he's going to lose a lot of... he's actually losing a lot of time. He's lost about 1.5 seconds here in this race because he pitted later. We're going to possibly see some more time come down. Look at how much that is coming down now. 3 seconds. 2.93 seconds. It's not working out well, but we're going to return to Sexton Linthart, our new Grand Prix leader. It's the first time somebody else has led a lap, who's led a race, or led this lap in this race, sorry. Timo Kuiper's 3-second penalty. We can see that other AlphaTauri behind him. He's lapped 14th place now, but he will be pitting. And so we're going to have to wait and see how this pit stop goes. Let's see how Sexton Linthart is going to do. It's pretty close. We can see Wildy on the mini-map. It's the closest little dark green dot on the mini-map. We're going to ride on board with him. We're actually going to go to Wildy. I want to see where he's going to come out. Is he going to get in front? He's coming through the hairpin, through the right-hand, and now he's just got 2 more corners to the track. Remember, if he gets overcut by Sexton Linthart, this will not end well for Sexton Linthart. Sexton Linthart is coming out of the pits now. He is coming out. Is he behind? Is he in front? We don't know where he is. There he is. We've finally seen him. But it's a good overcut from Wildy because he's on warm tyres now. And Sexton Linthart isn't. He's already built second. This has honestly hurt Sexton Linthart so much that Wildy has built this 1.4 second gap. They were about the same pace when they had DRS. Now, shockingly, Sexton Linthart doesn't have DRS on Wildy. What a masterstroke from Wildy to get up into P2. Great strategy from Luke Mills, who wasn't making a lot of progress, but has found himself P5 now. He was P7 at the back of this group. P5 now. He's really running for this. He wants to take on P4. Remember, Ivan Santamaria still has to stop. But we can see, look at how much Wildy is chasing him down. But this now officially means Wildy has not led every lap of this race. We see a bit of battling further back between Matteo and Leonard Jask. It's 3 wide between Leonard Jask, Matteo, and Ivan. Leonard Jask just let off a bit, let him back through, and here comes NLR Matteo. He's not coming on for points. He really wants something more. Only 19 points this season scored. The fact that our championship leader has 54 points. He was an early championship contender in the season. Sadly, that's dropped off as he hasn't been able to attend to some of the later races this season. But it's how it sometimes goes. It is sometimes like that. It can be mean. But let's take a quick rundown of the grid. Ivan Santamaria yet to stop in this race, but is P1. Wildy, our championship leader, still holds on to net P1 and is currently P2. Sexton Linthart 3rd. Domi JD 4th. Luke Mills 5th. Snake 6th. Matty 7th. We also then go to Victor Vidler in 8th. Miko in 9th, and the other Mercedes of FRT Floor in the position of P10. NLR Matteo gets past for P11, and then it's for Ivan and Leonard Jask that go from P11 to P13. Timo Kuiper's 14th, and Emmy down in last place in 15th place. We've had 4 retirees. That was Serdar, NLR Rookie, FG Daniel, and Kine, who all have had issues this race, but we're going to see the Aston Martin of Wildy start to catch up now to Ivan Santamaria. Sexton Linthart just put in the fastest lap of the race. Very important. We're going to ride on board for Wildy for a little bit because we haven't really rode on board with this guy for that much of today's race. But he will get DRS, I believe, into this second DRS zone on the driver of Ivan Santamaria. Or will he? I'm not 100% sure. No, he's not. but he's okay with that because he is within a second. He's got the fresher tyres, got a lot fresher tyres. And honestly, in my opinion, Ivan Santamaria is actually losing out more than he's gaining, which isn't the greatest strategy because he's going to get overtaken very shortly by the driver of Wildy. But the great thing for Ivan Santamaria is he's backing Wildy into Sixten Linthart. So this is the emergency of the situation. Wildy needs to get past Sixten. This doesn't look great. This really doesn't look great for the driver of Ivan Santamaria. It looks like he could have been doing a bit of blocking there. We will have to see, of course, from the stewards if Wildy puts in a complaint. But it is going to be quite annoying because now Sixten Linthart is back within a second of Wildy. He's just outside of a second now, so this has actually turned out to be good for Wildy in the end. But we will see. Sixten Linthart, he has no battery left compared to Ivan Santamaria, who's lots of battery compared to the others. So he is really, look at how much he's gaining. He's definitely got the straight line speed on the other drivers, especially on Wildy. He has a straight line speed, but this battle has now come out. Let's see who has actually stopped. Ivan Santamaria hasn't stopped. We see Emmy has had 3 stops, most out of anybody. Timo Kuipers has had 2 stops. If we have a quick look at the penalties, here's the penalty rundown. There's a bit of a battle. Still, Ivan Santamaria not making any room for Sixten Linthart. He's not going to let him by. But we can see 3-second penalty for Wildy, championship leader and our race leader, Sixten Linthart, with 6 seconds of penalty. Side-by-side action, though, as Sixten Linthart does get by. NLR Matti has 3 seconds of penalties, followed by Mika with 6. Then we have a lot of 3 seconds penalties from FRT Floor, Matteo, Ivan, and Leonard Jask, all with 3 seconds of penalties, and Emmy in last. Timo Kuipers has 6 seconds of penalties. So a couple of things there to look at. But so far in this race, I've got to say, a lot of drivers are performing well, especially this man that we're watching. A championship leader. He's going for his 3rd win in 4 races. He's got about 1.7 seconds over second place at the moment in this race. He's out of battery now, but this means he will currently gain another 4 points over Sixten Linthart, and so he will gain to 10 points in the lead of the championship over second place, which is very nice to see. But I've got to say, these two, Sixten Linthart and Wildy, they are both on top of this season. They're doing really well out there. Honestly, they've done pretty brilliantly. We can see there's only 10 laps of the race remaining, and Sixten Linthart is not actually gaining on Wildy. So this could be the end result, but we will have to see. Anything can happen. We've seen it here in PSGL before. Anything can happen, especially if we look back to this race in Singapore, at the Austrian Grand Prix as well. There's been so many times, but the gap is now 2 seconds between first and second place. Remember, Sixten Linthart has that 3-second penalty, that extra 3-second penalty, meaning he's got 6 seconds of penalties compared to 3. So at the moment, he would be out of the running. Even if he was leading by 2 seconds, he'd still be out of the running for winning the race, although he crossed the line first. But I've got to give it to one driver out there, and that is Domi JD. I mean, this man's held on to third for so much of today's race. He's honestly doing brilliantly. Just built out a second gap between him and Luke Mills in fourth. Has Luke Mills held on to DRS? Yes, he has. He's using that DRS to catch all the way back up to Luke Mills. But it doesn't matter, because I've got to say, this man in the Haas has absolutely been brilliant. He's outperforming full-time drivers. He's also outperforming some of the best drivers in this tier, which is absolutely brilliant. I've got to say, it's one of the amazing and lovely things we get to see in PSGL, and we get to see in league racing in general, is when newcomers, reserves, whoever, drivers who don't have as much experience outperform the top some of the top drivers that we've known in the past. For instance, Matty in there, Snakes, also Luke Mills as well, all very consistent drivers. Victor Vidler, Ivan Santamaria, Timo Kuipers, Matteo. The fact that he's outperforming all of them, it just really shows that he has some really good driving quality in there. I have to say, though, this whole race has been... it's been one of my favourites. It's been one of the best. I can't lie, it's been one of the best. I really have no complaints about this race at all. It's one of my favourites. But we got to talk about this track, though. It does create some areas for vulnerability for some drivers, of course. It creates vulnerability in the way that almost, on the straights you have that vulnerability where you won't have the straight line speed, you won't have much because of the DRS. And that's, I think, ultimately hurting some drivers out there, but helping others. As we see, there's actually a bit of a line starting to pick up now. 4 drivers battling over P3 at the moment. That is our closest battle on track out of anybody out there. But wow, it's been one hell of a race here in Mexico. This is going to be one to remember for the season. I've got to say, one to definitely remember. And I can't complain about any driver in this race. They've all been really well, really good. They've made some small mistakes. I think every driver has, whether it's penalties or just lockups or whatever. But I've got to say, everybody has been on such great driving standards today. It's some of the best we've seen all season. I've got to say, it is some of the best, but I'm loving this tension towards the end of the race as we've gone on to lap 28. We've actually gone on to lap 29 now, and that is our race leader right there in the Aston Martin, that green, beautiful looking livery of the Aston Martin. Currently leading the race, Wildy, our championship leader, followed by Sixten Linthart, the second place driver in the championship. For quite a bit of the season, he's been the favourite to win, but he's only won 1 race compared to Wildy with 3. And that's set to make Wildy a 4-time winner this season if he continues like he is. Domi JD 3rd, Luke Mills 4th, Snakes 5th, Matty 6th, Mika 7th, Victor Vidler 8th, FRT Flores 9th, Ivan Santamaria 10th, NLR Matteo 11th, Leonard Jask 12th, Ivan 13th, Emmy 14th, and Timo Kuipers down in last place. Another 3-second penalty for Timo Kuipers, but he's not giving up. He's still going. He wants to get the fastest lap and wants to at least get something to his name for this race, as it has been a very tough one for the driver of Timo Kuipers. We're almost round to the lap of We're almost round to lap 30. Only 6 more laps remaining as we see Wildy come round the last corner. We're going to see him move on to lap 30 here. Timo Kuipers with another 3-second penalty. He's going for it. He wants the fastest lap. That's what he wants in this race. That's all he wants. Timo Kuipers sets the fastest lap of today's race. 1 minute 17.297. One AlphaTauri driver is fighting for a podium. The other AlphaTauri driver is currently last place. There was a driver off in the middle sector. I believe that is Matteo. He has gone off in the middle sector. Shouldn't do anything, but there goes Luke Mills. And here comes Snakes once again to come back at Luke Mills for P4. Ooh, some action going on here. We can see there is the ghost of car of Timo Kuipers in the way. Of course, it still causes dirty air on this game, so that could be affecting double dirty air for the driver of Luke Mills. But a good move from BEG Snakes F1. Really what you want. It's always what you want to have. That was a very nice move, I have to say, but a bit of understeer there for Snakes as the tyres are starting to get worn in this race. If you guys are enjoying the action here in PSGL F5, please think about subscribing to PSGL. Leave a like on the stream. Click on the notification bell to get notifications for every stream that happens here and every stream that happens here on the PSGL YouTube channel. Also, go and follow us on Twitter for more action. Also to see things like early releases of different grids for next season, and for any action and any updates and just any news altogether. Extra news, yes, you can get that on the Twitter channel. You can also, if you just look a little bit further over, just a little bit further down the description, you will see the invite to our Discord server. Go and join us on there. If you want to race, like you can see here, whether you want to race, whether you want to commentate like I am, or if you just want to be there to chat to people and have a bit of fun, you can come and join. Everybody is welcome. We all would love to see you there. But returning to this race now, it's been an interesting one. It really has. I think this is not so much interesting for the action we've seen, but it's more interesting for how the championship is currently going between these drivers. Honestly, Wildy extending his championship lead, Sixten Linthart extending that he's going to be in second in the championship. So pretty crazy race here. Third place, Ivan Santamaria. Really going to lose out. I believe Matty will overtake him in the Drivers' Championship. But we still see this little battle here over fourth place here. We're going to look behind. We can see Snake still has DRS on Timo Kuipers. But we can see he's trying to close up to Domi JD. Matteo with a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. But he is 11th. Was 25 seconds off of 10th place of Ivan Santamaria in today's race. But yes, if we look further back, I've got to talk about Matty. Down 4 places in this race. It's been a tough one, I've got to say, for Matty. It's been a really tough one for him. He started second, got a really bad race start, and he hasn't changed that round. He hasn't shown the pace that he needs in this race, and I think that's ultimately affected him more than anything else in today's race. And I think he's found himself in a bit of frustration where he can't get by, and there is a bit of a tangle in the last sector. There's a penalty to somebody there. I'm not sure who that was. Timo Kuipers gets another penalty. Up to 18 seconds of penalties for Timo Kuipers. Oh my god. But we'll do a little penalty rundown as we come on to the last 4 laps of today's race. Wildy has 3 seconds of penalties, followed by Sixten Linthart with 6. Then it is Luke Mills and NLR Matty with 3 each. And Mika gets up to 9 seconds of penalties, as there is going to be a move on the straight. There goes NLR Matty. I said about him having to make a move. He's listened to me, and he is making the move up into P5. He's chosen it's time to make a move and start to make a dent. And he's finally done it, but he's been pushed back off track. This is really annoying for him. But that has meant he's actually lost out to Luke Mills. It looks like he just went wide. And there he goes, back on the inside. I didn't expect to see that. That's why the camera angle wasn't great. But now, here he comes on the switchback. He's going to go for it. He sends it into the double right-hander. What a dive bomb. What a place to make an overtake. Look at that. Will Luke Mills back out? Yes, he does. And that is NLR Matty, the Haas driver. Oh, there's a Haas off. That was Timo Kuipers. Okay, sorry. Sixten Linthart with another 3-second penalty. This means he's going to be down all the way to 5th place at the moment. And there goes Victor Vidler getting a 3-second penalty. Mika, 9 seconds of penalties. FRT Floor 3. NLR Matteo with 6. Leonard Jask with 6 seconds of penalties as well. Emmy with 3. For Ivan with 9 seconds of penalties. And it's Timo Kuipers with 18 seconds of penalties. There's only 3 drivers in this race who haven't had a penalty today. And there goes Timo Kuipers. He's chosen to retire after getting the fastest lap. But he is happy that he got fastest lap. But it's been a tough race for the AlphaTauri. But if we have a little look, there's only 3 drivers without penalties. And that is Domi JD, Snakes, and Ivan Santamaria. Ivan Santamaria is going to get so much off of the big penalties, like 9 seconds of penalties. He's going to get so much off of those drivers. And I bet he's just waiting to get those. But here we are with Wildy. It's the last 3 laps of the race. It's been one dominant race from Wildy. He's barely ever let go of the lead. I think when crossing the line, he's only let go of the lead twice for just 2 laps of this race. By the end of the race, that means he would have led 34 laps of today's race. If you can hold this up, sorry for switching, didn't mean to. But we're going to see him as he goes round onto the penultimate lap of this race. And there he goes, across the line for lap 35 out of 36. We're getting towards the end of today's race. If you are buying any GT Omega products, if you enter the code PSGL, you can get a discount of 5% off. So make sure to type that in the next time you are shopping at GT Omega. Whether it's right now or in 5 minutes, it doesn't matter. Put that code in and you'll get 5% off. As we see, Snakes is pushing. He wants to get P3 in this race. He wants to get on the podium. He wants to get what he deserves. We can see he's closing in. He's waiting until that last lap. He wants this position. He really does. You can see how much he is pushing. He's right up behind Domi JD. Domi JD is really struggling now. He does seem to be struggling quite a bit. Now coming through into the S section. Snakes gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Oh my god. This might have ruled him out of getting a penalty. Leonard Jasp with another 3-second penalty. But this might rule him out of getting P3 and getting on the podium. Let's see what he can do. Let's see. He's going to try and pressure Domi JD into a penalty. Is he going to try and do it? We're going to ride on board with him onto this pit straight. He still wants to cross the line first. It's just the principle of finishing in third. But although he doesn't actually get the position, he's going to use his overtake. He's got the DRS. It's so strong on this track, DRS. But today we've seen that DRS hasn't been the strongest thing. And there he goes. And there goes Snakes on Domi JD. He makes it up into P3, but because of the penalty, he might not actually get anything. He might still finish 4th in this race, which would be disappointing, but there is the move, and there it is done. But we're going to switch back a little bit to somebody who I think, honestly, is underrated, and that is Snakes. I've got to say, it's Snakes. I'm going to be honest, it is Snakes. He is my personal sort of understated hero of this race. He's absolutely brought it home, though at the moment, yes, he's not going to finish on the podium unless Domi JD makes a mistake. He is the underrated hero of today's race. But we're going to return our focus to the front of the grid, and that is to Wildy. What a drive this man has had. He's led 34 out of 36 laps of this... Sorry, not exactly that, but he's led most of the laps of this race. He got pole position. He will cross the line to win here in Mexico in round 8 of PSGL season 33. F5. There he is. He has won. Sixten Linthart drops down a couple of positions. Domi JD finishes 2nd. Snakes does get 3rd in the end. He does get 3rd. Sixten Linthart finishes 4th. He loses even more grip on the championship. Matty 5th. Luke Mills 6th. Victor Vidler 7th. Mika 8th. Here comes FRT Floor. He's down to 9th. It's ultimately Ivan Santamaria up to 8th. And here comes NLR Matteo. He's going to be one of 2 of the last drivers to cross the line. But what a day from some of these drivers, to be honest. They've honestly had some of the best racing I've seen in this tier. I mean, I have no words to that race of dominance from our championship leader, Wildy. He secures his 3rd race win in 4 races. It's such dominance from this man. He doesn't stop. Sixten Linthart not very happy. He leaves the session early. Bit of disappointment there for Sixten Linthart. But it is how it goes sometimes. And you can't be disappointed because you still got 4th place. That is better than drivers like Matty and Luke Mills. But in the end, I've got to say, my driver of the day has to be Wildy. It's got to be Wildy. There's nobody else that can take up driver of the day, in my opinion. He absolutely shone. You can see the game chose Ivan Santamaria, but I choose Wildy. He was dominant. He got pole position. He got everything he needed. He had fast lap times. He got the strategy perfect. It's all you needed. And as you can see, the Aston Martin driver will stand at the top step of the podium for the 3rd time in 4 races. What a race. You can see also the drivers of Domi JD standing in 2nd and Snakes in 3rd place on the podium. It's absolutely brilliant today here from all these top 3. Came down to the wire for 2nd and 3rd place, but they both got what they wanted for both them. I have to say, though, this man, Wildy, there's nothing. I have no words, honestly, to say about this guy. No words. So, Wildy from pole position, stopped the race, and won it ultimately here in Mexico City. Domi JD comes from 5th to 2nd due to penalties. He got up to 2nd place. Snakes 3rd. Sixten Linthart, disappointment and heartbreak here. Only 4th place. Matty 5th. Luke Mills 6th. Victor Vidler finishes in 7th for the Swede. Ivan Santamaria is 8th. FRT Floor 9th. Mika is 10th. Matteo 11th. Leonard Jask 12th. Emmy 13th. Ivan 14th. The drivers who sadly retired from this race was Timo Kuipers, Serdar, NLR Rookie, FGE Daniel, and Kine. Well, what a race it was. If I've got to say about it, what a race it was. There's no complaining about it, is there? There really isn't. I mean, there's another 3 races to the season, if you remember. So anything could still happen, but this win was important for Wildy. 3 wins in 4 races I mean, the fact that this man has won 4 races this season, he's won half of the season, is pretty good. I've got to say, I've got to give it to him, half of the season, and it doesn't look like he's going to slow down. And so there's definitely a lot there to be used. But there aren't going to be any interviews for today. But I hope you've enjoyed watching the stream. I know I've been on my own and I've tried my best. And I hope you still enjoyed it though. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to PSGL for more content. Also click on the notification bell to get a little ping on your phone, iPad, or whatever you want to watch us on to know about more streams like F5. You can also get things like F1, top tier. Yes, you can get all of that. Also, go and follow us on Twitter for more information and news and more action. Also, come and join us on Discord even if you just want to chat or you want to race or you want to be a commentator like me. Please go and join us on there. It's in the description down below. I hope you've enjoyed today's stream. Please have a great week and I'll see you around. Bye.